She says no. No, sorry, I'm not interested. What's the worst case scenario at that point? What happens? What happens? Do you shrink an inch? Do you lose? Like, does your hairline recede an inch? Does money like fall out of your bank account? What happens?
A lady came up on this app and literally said to the man, if you're dating a woman who has a single grandma, a single mother, single sister, god sister, cousins, all of them are single, run. Would you go ahead and just cry?
What's a red flag gonna do?
No money, no car, hella kids, hella baby mamas, it's all red flags. No drip, can't jump fresh. I have a septum piercing, but I'm not gay. You're DL. You're in the closet.
Every day I get on the internet and I learn the hard way that comprehension skills is just not quite there for everybody. If you're a girl who's openly gay and you have a septum piercing, then that video was not for you. That video was for girls who have a septum, but they're like, no, I'm straight.
House cleaning before we get started. For those who have been rocking with me from day one, I appreciate the support. For those who may be new here, coming in out the door for your boy, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, get it cracking in the comments, hit the notification bell. Everybody, your engagement absolutely helps promote me into the YouTube algorithm. I thank y'all for the support. Now, let's get to it. Drop the video. Let's go.
Just say have a nice day with a smile and walk off. Thank you, Sancho. Yes, exactly. She says no. No, sorry, I'm not interested. What's the worst case scenario at that point? What happens? What happens? Do you shrink an inch? Do you lose? Like, does your hairline recede an inch? Does money like fall out of your bank account? What happens? Please. So I have minus 1,000 aura. No, that's not a thing. The aura is lost, okay? And if she says yes, how much aura is gained? Please. You'd rather hold your dignity? You ain't holding no lady in your bed because you scared you holding your dignity because you ain't getting no play if you not approaching nobody.
Let me say this. It's always a weird critique from those who don't have to do the approach or initiate the contact. It's easy from the sidelines to coach the game. If you're not an active player, then you can have as many critiques as you like of how the game should be played. But if you're receiving the attention, if you're receiving the approach, it's a vastly different scenario from those who are engaging with it. Here's the thing. Men nor women like rejection. And men, for the most part, face a lot of rejection coming up from a very early age. So men can gauge, they should be able to gauge, the women they can and cannot approach. If you're not getting approached by the men you find desirable, and I'm speaking to the ladies here, then there's two things I believe is going on here. For one, the men that you find desirable don't find you desirable. And for two, you're not giving off choosing signals that are inviting. You may be having resting, face. You may be not a person that seems easily approachable. It's something you're doing when it comes to attracting the men you find desirable that you're not doing correctly. Now, whatever that may be is going to be catered to the individual woman. I can't brush all women with the same pen, or the brush, I should say. But if you're not getting approached by the men you find desirable, you may not be that desirable to those men, or you may be sending off signals that you're not easily approachable. So I would say some self-reflection may be needed. It's easy for an attractive woman to think that approaching them is easy from the man's perspective when you haven't had to walk in those shoes. Rejection is a very, very troubling thing. It can make or break a person. Not everyone is built to handle certain levels of rejection. And although men grow up handling rejection, some men get broken by it. Some men are awkward. Some men just don't want to initiate because they feel it's safer, especially in modern times, to try to approach women from dating apps, from whatever sphere of the dating world that they can actually feel a little bit more comfortable initiating the approach. And for modern times, it's going to be dating apps. She seems to be a tad older woman, not too much older, but the YNs, and I hate using that word, but let's just, for now, the younger generation, they use a lot of dating apps. And a woman of your season may not be used to that, and you're used to men actually approaching you. I know who she is, by the way. A couple of years ago, Kevin Samuels did a podcast with her. I know who she is, but she's used to being approached by a certain caliber of man, and that man, for the most part, may not be actually into a woman who's very visible on social media like yourself. So I would say refine and do self-reflection and stop trying to act as if it's the easiest thing in the world to approach a woman. It's not. And some men are just not going to do it because let's be honest here, we have a lot of things going on social media with the gender war that a lot of men pay attention to, and they're just not going to approach because they don't want to be labeled a creep, get filmed being a creep, or whatever content forming women do to embarrass or belittle men for trying to approach them. I've done a number of videos highlighting women's bad attitude when it comes to rejecting men because I've said it more than once. You don't reject well.
A lady came up on this app and literally said to the men, if you're dating a woman who has a single grandma, a single mother, single sister, god sister, cousins, all of them are single, run. And honestly, I couldn't agree with her more. It shows that her surrounding people, her support system, are those that run men away. Now, I can get a 1 or 2 off situation, passed away, in jail. But if majority or all of them have no man in sight, that's a strong indication on what she's gonna be that strong, independent black woman who don't need a man for nothing. And I would say run.
You won't get me.
Generational cat ladies, there's a reason that they're all single. Any man who doesn't pay attention to a woman's interpersonal dynamics and family, especially those raised in single mother households, you had better err with caution. Because if the grandmother is perpetually single, the mom is perpetually single, then chances are the daughter is going to be perpetually single. Because people are how they're raised. I know a lot of you don't like that, but that's the absolute truth. People live by example. People are no more higher than they tend to be functionally raised or dysfunctionally raised. And if a woman is coming from a background or part of a family that the women are perpetually single, the women are perpetually single mothers, then the history of that lineage of that family is probably going to dictate she's going to be the same because I truly believe people can only rise so far above what the environment they were raised in, the environment that they were raised in. So if she comes from an environment where there are strong, independent women who buck against male leadership, then she's going to in turn be what she is. She's a product of her environment. She's going to buck male leadership. She's not going to invest in the duty of a relationship because let's be honest here, and I'm going to say this to you all, especially those who follow me. Marriage is about duty, love second. The duty comes before the love because love can fade. Love can go back and forth. People can be very emotional. People can be in love one minute, out of love the next. Their feelings can conflict with the stability of the marriage. Therefore, people should have duty to the marriage before love. And the duty comes, quite frankly, under the guise of God. I don't think any people who are not religious should be getting married. I think you should just be in a civil union because marriage to me is for those who are religious and understand that it's a covenant underneath God, not something you just get into because you want the state to recognize certain rights within that confines of that marriage. You know, you're entitled to inheritance and health care and insurance money and things like that. if you're not overly religious, I know I went on a rant here. You shouldn't get married. But back to my point. If any indication of who she will be is from the grandmother, mother, and aunts, take that as heavy as you can. Because if this woman comes from a generation of women who cannot maintain relationships, who cannot get into marriages, who are perpetually single and perpetuate single motherhood, run. And I'm talking about run for the hills. What you see on the screen, and I'll read it, when we start to use our own money and realize how expensive we are. A lot of times it's easy to spend others' money with no regard than when it's spending your own money and you see the value of it because it escapes you. A lot of times on social media, not in reality, you have women that have flagrant disregard for a man's financial stability. They think that they deserve ultimate spending practices from the man, whatever luxury item, whatever five-star restaurant they want to eat in, they believe that man should throw his money away on that. Now, when they go to treat themselves, notice that they are a lot more discerning with their own money. And this is my profound problem with the finesse culture on social media. If you buy into it, these women are not giving you the complete story. A lot of times these women will take themselves out to these restaurants, film content, and have you believe that some simp or sap is splurging all his income on this meal for her, who we know a lot of them, especially those on social media, don't deserve half of the treatment they expect others to shower upon them. This is nothing more than these women dry begging. They get on social media to present this high caliber of life that they live, and with the expectations of getting some sucker to facilitate a lifestyle that they themselves have an issue with financially backing. So you have to be very careful with certain content that you see on social media. And I'm talking to you ladies here, because these women, quite frankly, are part of 304 culture, pushing this hoology out to the world as if it's normal dating scenarios when it's nothing more than pee-tooting. Y'all have to be very careful. And I know I'm going off on rants here, but there's a lot of things below the surface of content like this that I like to address. And for the most part, a lot of women do not value money when it doesn't come out of their pocket, right? It's easy to splurge and spend someone else's money, but your money, you're tightly clutched with it because you know what you had to do to earn it. And I just ask that a lot of you women that produce content like this, you start to stop and think the ramifications of reality of this particular content. When you're teaching women, in particular young women, that they deserve to be treated like queens, ladies of leisure, absorbent amount of excess of money being spent on first dates. I want you to remember that when you have a son, if you do have a son, do you want your son being taken advantage of simply because the person sitting across the table from him happens to have a vagina?
What's a red flag gonna do?
No money, no car, hella kids, hella baby mamas, it's all red flags. No drip, can't jump fresh, all that. Red flag, red flag.
Damn.
Only wear Air Forces and Nike Techs, red flag.
Let me say this. I absolutely agree with the first part of what she said. Those are all red flags. However, this is the problem with a lot of women, especially young women. This is how you walk past and don't see good men for something like drip and jumping fresh. Those are things that you can change, dum-dum. Just because a man doesn't have the drip you're used to or jump fresh like you're used to seeing the guys on your block doing doesn't mean it cannot be changed. Here's a little game for you ladies, especially you young women. Men typically do what women expect them to do if they want to maintain relationships with women. So if you get a guy and you don't particularly like the way he dresses, you can change that. You can start making suggestions. Hey, baby, try this. Try these shoes. Try this shirt. Try these jeans. You could help him with his freshness, his drip. Instead of disqualifying a man based on surface level, superficial things like how he dresses, maybe you ladies should stop for a second. I know you can do it because a lot of you, and I know it's a small minority of women who divest and date interracially, the black wife effect. You will take a man and dress him up to your liking. It's just so happened you don't want to do that with black men, which I don't understand why y'all have such an issue with black men. All black men are not these fresh Negroes that can jump fresh and have drip right off the top. Some guys are awkward. Some guys are socially awkward. Some guys didn't grow up around the hood culture and know how to put an outfit together. That's fine. We're not a monolith. You can still look at that man and see worth and value. Go past the surface level bullshit. Teach him how to dress. And I know for some room, I know a lot of you women, a lot of you ladies, y'all want a man to come prepackaged perfect. But there are no perfect people. There are no perfect men. There are no perfect women. Sometimes you got to work with a person. Sometimes you got to help them. And there's nothing wrong with helping a person get his drip or his jump freshness together.
I have a septum piercing, but I'm not gay. You're DL. You're in the closet. Every day I get on the internet and I learn the hard way that comprehension skills is just not quite there for everybody. If you're a girl who's openly gay and you have a septum piercing, then that video was not for you. That video was for girls who have a septum, but they're like, no, I'm straight. And to the alleged straight girls in my comments that's mad offended, are y'all cool? Like, y'all know how gay guys have certain things that they do or wear to let other men know, like, hey, I'm gay, without having to actually say it? Yeah, girls have that too. And septums are one of them. When the gay girlies want girls to know that we're gay, we go get a septum. That's just a thing. That's like if you see a guy with charms on his nails or like a dangly earring or something, you're gonna assume he's gay. But if he's like, no, I'm not gay, I just like dangly earrings, then it's like, oh, okay.
The septum piercing was made popular in the late 80s, early 90s by a group called X-Clan. And I know I'm dating myself here, but it was. It represented a connection back to Africa. In other words, Afrocentricity. So I get it. In modern times, members of the LGBTQ have these indications or these markers to let people know that they're part of that group and they're part of that community. And hey, it's okay to come talk to me. But that's not where it started from. You can't get mad at people for rocking something that has an origin. And it did not originate from the LGBTQ community. It didn't. Nose piercings did not originate from that community either. All this stuff with the nose piercing, it came from the late 80s and early 90s with Afrocentric ideology. It has its roots in Black culture, pro-Black culture, I should say. It's not something that just appeared out of nowhere for the LGBTQ community. So if a straight person is rocking a piercing in their nose, whether it be septum or a hole in the left or right side of their nose, it doesn't mean this is a moniker for you to attach LGBTQ representation to. Neither does hoop earrings. These things are modern takes of things that have already been established. And I get it. There are the notions in that community to let people know or signal that they're part of that community. But you can't claim things that already have been established. This is asinine. So unless a straight person is giving you shit about the septum piercing and saying that you can't rock it, everybody mind your own business. If you mistake a person who's straight because they have a septum piercing as part of the community and they say they're straight, move along. Same with straight people. You can't accuse the members of the LGBTQ of taking something that they have now put into their fold in modern times as, an indication that they're part of that community. I say everyone let others live and live for peace. Two things can be true at once. It can represent the LGBTQ and it also cannot. We have space in this universe for multiple ideologies to coexist. Y'all got to stop acting as if you own things that have been previously established for certain ideologies. Pro-Black spheres rocked nose piercing and septums long before LGBTQ members did, as well as radical feminists.
And for the reference, it doesn't matter if my booty is flat because the pussy's still good.
Well. I guess y'all heard that. Look, I don't know this woman. I don't follow her. I just came across this on TikTok. I don't know what beef she was getting in with someone in her comments, but let me say this. To each his own. Some guys don't like flat butts. Some guys like overly round posteriors. I don't care what anyone likes. But if you're giving this lady SHIT because she doesn't have a robust butt, y'all need to find something else to do. I don't like picking with people, and I don't like just degrading people because they're not your particular taste or someone you find attractive. If she is definitely someone you don't find attractive and you're coming on her post because it comes across your FYP and you feel the need to get in the comments and belittle her because of the way she looks or the lack of butt she may have, I would suggest you find something else to do because that's mean and it's unnecessary. This woman, far as I saw, did nothing to anyone but post content. And I didn't look over a lot of her content, but I don't see her being a misandrist or a radicalized feminist. I think she's just on TikTok having fun. So if you have something negative to say, and I'm talking to men here, I know a lot of you guys have red pill rage and you see every woman as a woman you need to put in her place. I get it. We've all been there, but you've got to come out of the rage and come back to reality. If this woman isn't a misandrist or a radical feminist, she isn't bothering you, leave her alone. There's nothing wrong with minding your business and minding the business that pays you. That's all I got, man. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, get it cracking in the comments. I'll catch y'all in the credits. 2 fingers. Peace. I'm out of here. Catch y'all in the next one.
Like Jesus.
You think that what we're fighting about is stupid. Just cause you don't agree don't mean it's stupid. Lately communication feels so useless. If we don't got that obsessive love, then what are we doing? I don't ask for much from you. It's like you don't got the time to lose. Make me feel like I'm a burden when I tell you I want